to move beyond transactions to relationships than ever before. And capturing this opportunity requires that we form higher quality relationships that are more collaborative and more giving. The more we think about relationships and the more we get experience with relationships with different consumers and different brands and different businesses around the world, the more we're beginning to understand we have to continually reinvent the way we create and build brands, and to begin to let go. We have to strike the right balance between being in touch and being in control. Now, the irony of this is the more in control we are, the more out of touch we become.
Simon, the analogy of Romeo and Juliet here is like any loving relationship. Actually, the more controlling you are, then the less of a real relationship you have. And the more freedom you actually give to your consumers, then the more they will reward you. And for me, that's what makes these particularly exciting times, especially in the world of direct. So, if I talk about the old rules, what are the new rules? Well, it seems to me that the first of the new rules is that we're in a business about brands, not about channels. And I think this is generally accepted. But when I say, we're in a business about brands, well, what does that really mean? Well, I mean, if we go back to the 1960s, Theodore Levitt wrote this brilliant pamphlet called Myopia in Marketing. And what he says is actually, what is your business in business to do? And he talks about the White Star line and how it was the largest, most powerful, richest brand in the world in 1914. They thought they were in the business of ships and shipping. If they thought they were in the business of transportation, I probably would have flown to Adelaide on a White Star aeroplane. But they didn't. They thought they were in shipping, and they ceased to exist. And so I look at brands like, let's just take a whiskey here, Johnny Walker. Now, Johnny Walker, they reckon their business is not whiskey. I mean, whiskey is their product, but their business is actually about selling reward. And I don't know about you guys, but I mean, if I make it through to 6:30 in any particular evening, by Christ, I deserve a reward for that. So they utterly, totally position themselves around this thought of keep walking. It's a fantastically human thought, and it allows them to have a whole number of very different conversations with very different people at the same time, and yet be consistent. Meanwhile, here's the Talisker. This is a single malt whiskey that comes from the Isle of Skye. And this is an award-winning website, and the direct mail that goes out to whiskey drinkers is pretty identical. It talks about the way the whiskey is made. Now here's one brand that is looking in on itself, and actually there's only so much you can say that's interesting about the way whiskey is made. If you think about it as a conversation, imagine I'm a single malt Scotch whiskey. I come from the Isle of Skye. I have a kind of smoky, peaty flavour. And you go, oh, that's quite interesting. Then the next time I come across you, I go, hello, I'm a single malt whiskey from the Isle of Skye. I'm kind of smoky and peaty, and I've got a funny kind of seaweedy flavour. And you go, yeah, I remember that. That's kind of quite interesting. And then you come across me a third time, I go, hello, I'm a single malt whiskey from Scotland. I'm kind of peaky. And you go, shut up! God, you're boring. Meanwhile, Johnny Walker is talking about different things. So in Japan, the Johnny Walker website is a place where business mavens go to look at the great business ideas that young people have posted up there. So here is a whiskey introducing people with ideas to people who have money and bringing them together in business enterprise, because that's what fuels Japanese culture. In the UK, where we're altogether more shallow, Johnny Walker's all about golf. So the Johnny Walker website there is about, you can put in your score for the round of golf you played on Saturday, and it takes all the scores of all the other golfers and all the other golf clubs, and you can see where you rank. You can see where you rank in your local area, where you rank in your club, where you rank in your county, and then you can do the same for your club. And so it's a whole ranking system. And keep walking there means, well, actually I'm a bit with Mark Twain on that. For me, golf is a good walk spoiled, but you can see what they're driving at. Now here's a really interesting piece of Johnny Walker communication.
true story about a young lad named John. Just a local farm boy. There was something special about the lad. A glint in his eye, a fire in his belly, a spring in his step. And one day, he went for a walk. Now this walk began when his father died. The year was 1819, and he was just 14 years old. Bereavement counselling. Well, these were the days when young boys were sent into the fields. The mills, the mines, tough time.
Now it goes on for 6 minutes without a cut in it. It's a brilliant bit of filmmaking, and it won the Grand Prix in Cannes about 6 weeks ago. Now the interesting thing about this film is it's a piece of direct marketing. It's aimed at the people who work for Johnny Walker, you know, to tell them about the brand they work for and to actually make them feel fantastically proud about it, which it does, which it did. So it was aimed at a really small community of people, and for them the whole business about keep walking means corporate success, and they're going to be part of it as well. The really interesting thing about brands and what brands mean today is that actually they have to have a degree of integrity or face, I think, some really challenging times. So let's have a look at this.
I just want to let you know that after long talks with my kids, the rest of my family, close group of friends, I have decided to return to professional cycling in 2009.
This must be a global health priority. We know that we cannot do this alone. I cannot guarantee an 8th Tour victory, but I can guarantee you that the Livestrong message will touch all aspects of our society.
So the Livestrong Foundation is Lance Armstrong, who suffered from cancer, raising money for more cancer research so that more Americans can live longer. Now the really fascinating thing about this is that Nike is one of the 10 most hated brands on this planet. They're incredibly successful marketers, but people like my children absolutely despise Nike. They despise Nike partly because I wear them, and they despise me, but actually they also despise Nike because they use child labor in Bangladesh and Vietnam to make these shoes. And actually if you're 15, 16 years old, you think this is unacceptable. So here we see Nike realigning their brand around a cause. So it's a fundamental shift in what they do. So they're looking for a return on integrity there. But actually, there are other ways of doing that too. So here's a really fascinating direct campaign from First Direct in the UK. And what they've done is they created a widget that feeds live to posters, electronic posters around the UK, what people are saying about them. Unedited. So that's the good and the bad. And so you can go to their website now and you can upload your comments, and those comments will again be screened live. They're random, but they're live. So here's a brand saying, okay, you know, we have nothing to be afraid of. We have nothing to hide. And the response has been absolutely amazing. You know, so far, the number of people responding to the direct mail inquiries that are sent out to them, would you like to move your account, is up 214%. So actually values are incredibly important. It's what we were talking about in our master class yesterday. What are your values?